trouble if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Dude, what do you want?
Well, it's this rug I have. It really tied the room together.
We are not a show to be swept under the rug. We are a show to be heard.
It's the Sports Fix.
Welcome back. Final segment of the Sports Fix. J-Rock back with you guys. Thank you so much for being with us. Thanks to Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan for joining us as well. We had a lot to get into. Talked some Buckeyes, Indians, a lot of tribe talk today. Going to be a lot for the next few months. Indians are only taking a couple of days off themselves as they start with their organizational meetings. I know this weekend they're going to be in Arizona. They're going to get in Goodyear and start bunkering down and coming up with an attack plan for the offseason already. Terry Francona said it's a little difficult the first few days to slow down and put the season behind you, and we want to transition as quickly as possible into next year mode so we can start rolling, hit the ground running, and it makes it a little bit easier to deal with the end of the season being the way it is. Welcome back, guys. Last chance to call in, 216-539-7535. Not going to stay here long. A quick segment. I want to, you know what, before we get into the playoffs and previews and looking ahead, which, by the way, tomorrow, Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com, he'll be with us. We'll talk about a little bit of his thoughts at the end of the Indian season, and we'll look at some playoff previews, some of the matchups in the series that begin tomorrow as the wild card rounds in action. I know tomorrow you've got Oakland and Kansas City with their play-in game. Lester and Shields are the two guys there, so we'll see if Lester pays dividends right off the bat for the Oakland A's, and as they take on Kansas City for the right to advance to the divisional round of the playoffs. Wednesday, San Francisco and Pittsburgh with their game. Bumgarner and Valquez going there. And then, of course, you've got Detroit and Baltimore and St. Louis and the Dodgers. They get rolling as the week continues on. So tomorrow, Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com in the house to talk about that. Also, Dr. Football, Bill Checkis, he'll be here. We'll talk about tonight's Monday Night Football game as New England and Kansas City clash tonight, 8:30. We'll talk about all the games, Week 4 action, as the Browns were off, but the rest of the NFL was in full effect, and we will start to focus on the Browns' return to play this weekend as they head on the road to take on the Tennessee Titans and get their season back to 500 at 2-2. So all of that coming with Dr. Football tomorrow. Waiting to hear from Doug Plagans. Possibly going to check in with Doug live from Monsters training camp tomorrow because Monsters training camp begins tomorrow. Lake Erie Monsters fans, hockey fans, the Monsters get back at training camp tomorrow, which means TikTok, we're under a few weeks to go until this season gets started for them as well. So as sad as it is to close the chapter on another Indian season, Cavaliers season begins this week, well, the preseason, and Monsters season, they get at it this week as well. College basketball teams already out there. I know Cleveland State preparing for their season. Going to catch up with Coach Waters here as well, not only for a preseason look, but we'll get him on once every couple weeks through the season. Always a good opportunity to catch up with Coach Waters. Just love talking basketball with him. So there's a lot to look forward to as we also close the chapter on this Indian season. Speaking of closing the chapter, let's just get Derek Jeter out there and in the conversation, because you guys know, I said it before the break, I'm not, jokingly, we always use the phrase build statues. I'm sure the Yankees are building a Jeter statue before they're all said and done. And I know a lot of people are huge Derek Jeter fans. I'm not in that category, but I have huge, huge respect for the career that he's had. And let's talk about the end of that career. The other night, much like me, I'm sure each and every one of you guys out there watched the way his final, we're not even going to talk about his final at bat. Let's talk about his final at bat at home, his final home, not just the at bat, but how the whole damn thing played out, because it was not really in the cards for him to come back up again in the ninth inning there at Yankee Stadium. And yet the way the game played out, it almost played out as they blew the lead there for him to to set it up. It was like, I know some people, and I don't like to use phrases like this because I don't like to intersperse religion in sports, but I know I saw Nick Swisher said he's a god, and I'm not ever going to go that. I don't believe in phrases like that, but you do wonder what celestial hand was reaching down. Whether you want to use the word God, whether you want to say the baseball gods, however you want to put it, something reached down and touched that experience at Yankee Stadium. I mean, especially because it's not like he had a whole handful of game-winning hits at Yankee Stadium. He had some. I think that may have only been his sixth, but it works out to where he ends up back at bat in the bottom of the ninth inning at Yankee Stadium, home. I mean, 20-year career. I mean, really, it all came together, and he was able to walk it off. I mean, brought him to tears. I mean, and really, that was one where you go, come on, man. That's meant to be the way that ended. It was just a very, very, very special ending to a special career. There's no other way you can put it. And there was a lot of people talking about he doesn't play over the weekend. You have to let it end the way it did. And I can't lie. Part of me was in that camp, although part of me said, hey, there's a lot of people that bought tickets to the final series here that want to come and show their appreciation. But I figured you could always bring him out before the game and let that happen. I thought maybe he doesn't play. And even he said over the weekend, he goes, I'm not going to play the field most likely. And I'll tell you, it played out that not only at home, but also in his final at-bat, his final game, he gets the RBI single in the final career at-bat of a Hall of Fame historical career. Yankees beat the Red Sox. Of course, it's even more fitting if you're a Yankees fan that he did it against the Red Sox. But, yeah, that's a cool way to end it all with that hit. But to end it the way he did at home, man, storybook. And truly, somebody reached down and touched that moment there for the game to play out the way it did, for him to even end up back at it again there. Amazing. Just absolutely an amazing moment. And that's one place that I agree with Bill Livingston. I saw him make this comment over the weekend, is that while baseball may not be your favorite sport, some people believe the pace of the game is too slow, blah, blah, blah. Some people have short attention spans. Some people like football or basketball, and some people like baseball most. But I think no matter what your preference, because of the pace of the game, baseball does those moments better than anybody else, because it lets the game breathe and it lets those opportunities come up, and then it allows them to be fully absorbed and appreciated. And if you saw that game the other night and the way the home career at Yankee Stadium ended for Derek Jeter, you would agree with that statement right there. Just absolutely a storybook ending to a very good career. Very good career. So there you go. The Derek Jeter final weekend couldn't have been written any better if Major League Baseball scripted it themselves. Maybe they did. I'm just saying, if you're one of those guys, you could go. You've got some argument right there, because you're gonna go, man, how did that work out? Or you could just say, fate was meant to have that happen there. And I sure hope that when I end whatever you want to call radio, my career, when I end my wrestling, whenever I end anything that I do, boy, man, I hope people look at me the way they did Derek Jeter, because he's earned the respect of his peers, of the fans that have watched him, of the people that have paid him to do the game across the board. And that is the respect that I'll give him right there. All right, guys, we are up against it. As I said, tomorrow, a lot coming up. Jeff Gorman from Indians 101. We'll talk about Derek Jeter, his thoughts on the baseball playoffs as they start in the end of the Indian season. Dr. Football is in the house. Bill Check is talking all the NFL and Browns talk. Your takes and more. We're going to try to check in with Doug Plagans live from Monsters Camp. So you know how we do it, and you know when. Same bat time, baby. Same bat channel, live at noon tomorrow. Come on back and talk to us. Whether you enjoy some Monday Night Football tonight, there's no baseball to be had. So if you're a football guy, there's your game. If not, whatever you do, take 5, peace out, come back. Talk to us tomorrow at noon right here, live on the Sports Fix. Enjoy your evening. Thank you for rejoining us for another week. We're getting ready to flip it. One more day left in September. Then we'll flip that calendar over to October, and we'll do it together. So enjoy the night. Come back. Talk to me about it tomorrow live. You know where. Right here on the Sports Fix. We love you, Cleveland. We'll see you tomorrow.
City of the hard knocks. Let one of us make it at the city, bet we all rock. Coming out the east side, where they do not play much. Clouds always looming, we don't see the sun rays much. Still about the paper, gotta make sure the lights on. It's the mistake on the lake to you, but this is my own. Tatted it on my arm, that I represent that. Homie, I'm from Cleveland, I will tell the president that. Hardest, yeah, we been there. Made some of the greats here. Midwest best, this is MGK's, yeah. Shouts out to St. Clair, uptown, yes, y'all. Heading to the flats, get it popping up with Steph Law. Whole state monster, this the home of King James. We are not the empire, but this is where the kings play. Cleveland, let's go.
We rep our city.